Hello, it's Alexandra Morton here on June the 11th, 2013. I'm in Fife Sound in front of a marine harvest feedlot that is loading mort totes onto a barge. Mort totes are full of the morts, the salmon that have died in salmon farms, which is apparently normal in these feedlots. A certain number of them die. Today, the CFIA announced that they tested 4,175 salmon in British Columbia, and they could not find ISA. They did not tell us what tests they did. They also said they didn't test Atlantic salmon. So ISA is an Atlantic virus. If you really wanted to find an Atlantic virus, you would look in Atlantic salmon. And in particular, you would look at ones like this that have died in these feedlots of something. They are the ones most likely to tell you the story about whether ISA virus is in British Columbia or not. The international scientific community tells me that it is virtually impossible to culture ISA in wild fish. Likely because a wild fish sick with ISA to the point that you can culture the virus isn't swimming anymore. So the CFIA didn't tell us what kind of tests they did, but I suspect they're talking about culturing, which is capturing the virus alive, intact, and growing it, which is a great test. But it is virtually impossible to use that test to find ISA in wild fish. So until the CFIA tells us what test they did, and they argue out the merits of using that test, and it is accepted by the scientific community as being the best test that could possibly be done in British Columbia to let us know if ISA virus is here or not, until that happens, I'm going to believe the results from the labs I'm using. I'm going to believe Dr. Miller's results, Dr. Kyle Garver, and others, Dr. R. Nyland at the University of Bergen. I'm going to believe these scientists who say they are finding segments of the ISA virus in British Columbia fish. Now, at the Cohen Commission in 2011, we were given an exhibit that was a CFIA internal memo. And in it they discussed winning the war, the public relations war against us, about whether ISA virus is in British Columbia or not. And at the end of this memo, they said, now we just have to nail the surveillance piece. I believe today's announcement by the CFIA is them nailing the surveillance piece. I think we should consider ourselves nailed. To be continued.